Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our concert. We're so honored and pleased that you would share part of your Saturday with us. You know, our special guest tonight is indeed, it's an honor for us to have her with us. Eru Matsumoto has been thrilling audiences since she was a little girl, a child prodigy featured in documentaries and interviews and TV specials ever since she was very young, beginning her time at the Juilliard School at the age of 16. Today, she travels the world as a renowned cellist, performing with major symphonies across the planet. Eru is going to be presenting a TED Talk in a couple of months, in April, in London, England. And when we were doing this concert, we thought, who better to share their experience worldwide with music and the quest for peace than Eru. Her TED Talk today that she's going to be sharing with us in a moment is just bits and pieces, a sampling of what she'll be presenting in London. What an honor for us. She is also the recipient, a lifelong recipient, of a very special 1835 Italian cello, which has been donated to her by Violin Assets in Germany. About 2 weeks from today, she's going to be in Tokyo as featured guest artist with the Tokyo Symphony. My goodness, folks, let's welcome Eru Matsumoto.
Asked to come speak to you today and was told the subject I would be speaking on, I think I said yes, faster than I've ever agreed to do anything in my life. And that is because this one thing has occupied most of my young adult life, probably going back to when I was a child of 6 and first picked up the cello. At that time, I didn't think about much. As far as I can remember, I just kept repeating the word cello to my mom and dad. Cello! And the story is that I yelled it out in my sleep. Cello! So they gave up and got me some cello lessons. When I started out, it was more like having fun splashing in the pool before you start to take swimming lessons and learning how to swim. And later, it became less about the music, per se, and all about learning how to master the instrument itself. Learning how even the slightest adjustments have a huge impact. To understand that, you can think of an Olympic athlete making adjustments to their form and technique to gain even a fraction of a second of time. That part took years. And as I progressed, the cello became a very demanding lover. I've bled for her more than once. But that's what we have to do when it comes to something we feel very strongly about, right? We must be willing to bleed for it. If not literally, then figuratively. We have to put our hearts and souls into something, and if you don't, then it doesn't ring true. People won't relate because they will sense that you're insincere. After I graduated from Juilliard, another transition began to take place. The more I played the cello, it also became less about the instrument. I guess you could say that it transcended to another form. And again, I didn't choose it as much as passion chose me. I've been playing the cello for 20 years now. And one day, I realized that I no longer consider myself a cellist or even a musician, but as an ambassador of love and peace on earth. It must be because I innately understood that music is the most profound way to bring people together and to communicate the most important thing of all. And that, of course, is love. I've thought about this stuff a lot. And I think that great composers didn't actually write the music they're credited with. Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, Mahler, for example. Yes, in a way, I am accusing them of plagiarism. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. When I was still a child, I remember I was waiting by the door every day for a new piece of music to arrive in my mailbox. It was the Schubert's Arpeggione Sonata, in case you wanted to know. And I saw the mail carrier leave a package. So I ran out, grabbed the package, I knew what it was, I ran back inside, too excited to even breathe. I held the package, hugging it tightly, and I started crying and laughing both at the same time. And then I looked over and saw my mother and elder sister looking at me. I think they were probably already used to me being a little weird. They didn't say anything, but just went back to their conversation. When I was a little girl, I had this idea of what romantic love was. My sister reminded me that I had no idea what it was, having ever never kissed anyone, let alone hold hands with a boy. But when I played my cello, I would feel something very strong. And I felt sure that I knew what it was. And when I grew up, I felt that feeling again. I realized that I was right. And I knew then that playing cello enabled me to tap into those very real and strong feelings of love. I read about an Olympic swimmer who said that something really unusual happened during the most important competition of the Olympics. He said that he felt like he had come out of his body and watched himself from above. He watched himself as he scored the fastest time he ever swam. And I've read many interviews with people who have died and come back. They all seem to say that they went somewhere and felt this incredible sense of being wrapped in this big, unconditional love. I feel like I know this, like I have experienced it myself. I mean, I haven't died and come back, but I know this unconditional love, and I know it exists in the universe. But several times, when I'm actually breathing music and in a state where I forget all sense of time and space, I pass through some notes or passage of music, and I experience this amazing state of euphoria, like my heart was just about burst. I get lost in that same big unconditional love. And when I come back, I know that we are all connected. And not just that, but I know what we are all connected with. And then, of course, after an hour or so, I absolutely hate everyone again. I just want to have some bowl of ice cream or something. I recently heard that some train stations in Tokyo are now playing classical music. And I know this is already being done at Port Authority Bus Terminal in New York City. They say that the statistics are undeniable. There's just less crime, less acts of aggression and violence when people are exposed to classical music. I mean, think about that for a moment. Okay, so I mentioned about the great composers not actually writing anything at all. It's true. Well, to my way of thinking anyway. I think they actually just sort of copied and pasted the notes on the musical staff on the page. And Mozart is quoted as saying, "Whence and how these ideas come, I know not, nor can I force them." I am pretty sure Mozart was actually able to pick up the vibrations or sounds that already exist in the universe. He was just more tuned in than most. You know, we're actually all sounds after all. Planets, stars, ocean, mountain, human beings, everything. We're all vibrating in energy, right? And love is an energy too. And scientific studies have shown that the components of planets and stars are actually mostly the same as what we are made out of. So that means we're all connected, right? We are the universe, and we are love. Thank you very much.